My pastor told me that my mom is a witch. I am 30 years old woman and gainfully employed, or used to be until this year when everything started going south. Everything started crumbling so badly. I gave birth recently and brought my mother to live with me in my three-bedroom apartment that I live alone. The purpose of bringing my mother was to be the caregiver for my son so that I can be able to concentrate well and do my job well. Since she came, the load on me was lifted and I was able to work and be free. I have a spiritual father who is the head pastor of my church. He advised me, he advises me and tell me which directions I should go. He was the one who told me the prophecy about my baby daddy. He told me he saw in his vision that my baby daddy only wants me for money and doesn't have any good intention towards me, so I should not marry him. I was surprised since my baby daddy is well to do, but I'm not a seer and I don't know much about the spiritual realm, so I believed him. I broke things off with my baby daddy and decided to raise my son alone. A year after, my mother joined me. Things started getting worse and worse. My contracts were being rejected and projects were declined. I had to move from the three-bedroom to a one-bedroom self-contained. The feeling of failure was one I couldn't handle. I stopped going to church and began running around looking for new projects, which was unsuccessful. One day I had a call from my spiritual father, and he asked me why I've not been coming to church. I told him about how things were so bad for me. He invited me for prayers, and I went. After my prayer session, my pastor told me that my mom is a witch and she's the cause for all of my problems. He advised me to pray for her and I should also sack my mom, which I did. When I went back home, I told my mom what my pastor said. And can you imagine? This woman was crying crocodile tears. I told myself not to fall for it and I sacked her from my home. It's been 6 months now since I sacked my mom from my house, and things are still the same. And now, with the little boy that takes my whole time, I'm unable to work peacefully. I'm getting depressed and violent. My temper has become so bad. I lashed out at everyone, and I'm also thinking of begging my baby daddy for help. I don't know what to do. Please advise me. Guys, advise this young lady.